Hello, so this is X Rebirth VR. I thought I'd take a look at this game. It's a space trading combat kind of game, really. And on paper, you could probably describe it in a similar way to Elite Dangerous. In fact, it sounds very similar to Elite Dangerous on paper, but it plays very differently. And this is available on Steam. It's part of the X franchise, which I'm not really familiar with, and I've only put in a couple of hours into this game so far, but I wanted to just let people know about it. And it's one that I don't hear many people talking about, mainly due, I think a lot of it comes down to just its complexity, or it's just the type of game it is. It's part of this X franchise, which has a reputation for complexity, and it's quite difficult to get into, and I think the VR game, from what I've played so far, is not really any different to that. But it's not, I mean, I suppose in some ways it's sort of like Elite Dangerous in that way. Elite Dangerous can have a steep learning curve, and this game does as well. It plays differently to Elite Dangerous. Although I'm in my own ship at the moment, you really have to build up a fleet and send them out on missions and things like that. At least that's what I've heard, and I'm currently just, again, very early on, 2 hours in, and which is literally nothing in this game. You need to probably put in many hours to get your head around all the little game mechanics and things like that is going on. But the game seems to be sort of split up into different sectors, and you get to each sector through that corridor thing there. That's sort of like the hyperspace, I would say. That's the closest thing, but you can just join that and then go to a different district, and then there's different missions, there's trading missions, there's combat missions, there's lots of things to do. And again, I'm just really sort of still progressing through the tutorial, it seems, anyway.
Try activating the long range scanner.
So yeah, it's still guiding me through a lot of stuff at the moment. I've just got a basic scanner in a mission from the tutorial, and then presumably this next section is going to tell me what to do with that. But I won't play through the game too much. I can't really concentrate, and I do need to concentrate on this while I'm playing it. So I'll just have a little fly around it, and as you can see, it looks really nice. It's not quite up to the graphical fidelity or realism, I would say, of Elite Dangerous, but the backdrop, the space backdrop of the stars and things like that looks very nice. And there's certain districts in certain areas where you can go that look really nice. There's some really nice visual effects with it. And from what I've played so far, you land on the stations, and then you can acquire parts for your ship, acquire crew, different vessels and things like that. And the NPCs don't look particularly good, I will say that. They're not really up to the standard of what you would expect in a game really now, but they're fine, they're serviceable, and it's not really what the game is all about anyway, I suppose. But you can wander around the ships, wander around the space station. In fact, I can get up and wander around this ship as well. Let me just see if I can remember how to do that. I probably won't be able to, so it might be in this menu. You've got so many different menus and things like that in this game. So there we go, enter crew quarters, that must be it. So as you can see, you can select the menu. I'm currently using my Quest 2 and motion controllers, so it's got full motion controller support. The controls, I have changed them slightly, so I'm using the sticks to move over here. But let me just quickly show you the walk-in section anyway, this game. So we'll go into the crew quarters now, and as you can see, you can walk around your ship. Something a lot of people want to do in Elite Dangerous, actually. I'm not having a dig at Elite Dangerous when I do this. I'm just showing you what you can do. So there's different things you can... There are NPCs sometimes in here. Oh, there's an NPC now. So you can talk to them. I've not really dived into all of this too much yet, but there's lots of different things. And as you can see, there's a lot to this game already. And I've really not dived in enough to comment too much on it, but I was quite impressed with what I've played so far with the tutorial, and just wanted to make people aware of it anyway. But let's go back. So hopefully we can do that in the same way. Return to cockpit. Yep, there we go. So it's got this pointing mechanic. So you've got this reticule where you can just sort of select ahead, select various targets. So you can select them a second time, go on to some information about it. You can also actually, if you select it again, you can do a little autopilot thing to follow ships, so it will just do that automatically as well. There's a lot of stuff. I can't really get into all of it on here, obviously. I'm just sort of giving a brief overview. But the thing is, I'm a big fan of space games, especially in VR, which is why I like things like Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky. And this is one which has a lot of depth to it, a lot of complexity, which I'm just going through, and I am enjoying it. I've got to say, there's a few finicky things which I have had to change with the controls. There's a few things where, you know, the pointing system doesn't work great, and you can also use the controllers to steer your ship in terms of motion controllers, where you sort of use the controller like that, and you can pivot up and down, left and right to move your ship as well. I've turned that off myself. I didn't actually get on too well with that. I prefer just using the sticks to do that. Yeah, I'm getting on really well in that way. But I'll probably stick with this a little bit more, and I might make some more videos on this as I progress through, get my head around all the game mechanics and things like that a little bit more. But yeah, just a quick video to check this out if you haven't already tried it, or if you've not heard of it. It's, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's an old game. It came out in 2017, the VR version of it. And in some ways there are some frustrating things, although I can't really think of too much off my head other than the controls and things like that, really. You do need to sort of work the controls round for yourself. Also, I've heard that the Valve Index controllers might struggle in some ways with this game as well. However, I think you can probably turn it over to change it over to just sort of gamepad controls if you want to. I'm not 100% on that, so you might just need to research that if you are thinking about picking this up. But yeah, if you like space games with a lot of depth, a bit of complexity as well, something similar to Elite Dangerous but playing in a completely different way, then this is one to look out for. Maybe check out some more videos from people that have played it a bit more than me and know more about what it's going for. But this is definitely something I'm sticking with, and I like the tutorial. It doesn't explain everything. You know, I've got lost a few times in the tutorial, but for the most part it does guide you through, and there's a lot of stuff to wrap your head around. But that's pretty much it from me. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.